My name is Farell Okthara Yostan. Today, I want to share my thoughts about our new president, Mr. Prabowo Subianto. This is a significant moment for our country. With President Prabowo now leading Indonesia, there are many expectations from the people. Some believe that his experience in both the military and politics will bring strength and stability. Others may have some doubts because of his background and his human rights violation records. With Mr. Prabowo now sitting on the presidency seat, we have a new opportunity for growth and progress. One thing that stands out from his presidency is his large cabinet. This cabinet is the largest in Indonesia's history, with 48 ministries and consisting of 110 officials, including both ministerial level officials and deputy ministers. This significant commitment to addressing the diverse needs of the nation, the creation of such a fat cabinet, shows that the president is aiming for a broad and inclusive approach in his administration. Several were positive on this move made by Mr. Prabowo to expand the ministries to fulfill the needs of our big nation. But many were on the negative side of this topic. Some said it is not necessary to grow these cabinets to be this huge. As for example, the United States of America, an advanced nation, only have 15 departments, equals to ministries, and 10 cabinet level departments. Some also worried on the corrupt officials taking advantages, and also inefficient governing and an experienced official running the ministry. Although I hope that under his leadership we can see improvements in our economy and infrastructure, and and I hope that his projects, his visions will be realized. I hope that Indonesia will become better in the future and will be seen by the rest of the world. Of course, with such a large cabinet comes with the challenge of coordination. But if managed well, it could allow for a variety of perspectives and solutions to be considered as Indonesia moves forward. Like any leader, President Prabowo will face challenges. His success will depend not just on his decision, but also on how well he can unite his cabinet and the people behind a shared vision. But I am optimistic. I believe that with dedication and collaboration, we can face the challenges ahead and create a better future for Indonesia. I look forward to seeing how this new leadership, with his ambitious cabinet, his ambitious projects, ambitious visions, and how it will shape the direction of our country in the coming years. Hello, my name is Farell Yostan. Today I will talk about adverbs of frequency. What are adverbs of frequency? Adverbs of frequency is a word or phrase that modifies or qualifies the meaning of sentence by indicating how often an action or event occurs. These adverbs serve to clarify regularity of actions and provide context within a sentence. Adverbs of frequency describe how often something happens, utilizing definite terms, which indicate specific intervals, as well as indefinite terms, which convey a more general sense of frequency. Why is adverb of frequency is important? First, clarity in communication. It specifies how often actions happen, making sentences more clearer. Second, expressing habits. It helps communicate habits and routines effectively. Third, indicating likelihood. It shows how likely an action is to occur. 4. Adding nuance. Different adverbs provide subtle differences in meaning. There is two types of adverbs of frequency. The first one is definite. Adverbs of definite frequency specify exact time frames within for actions, indicating how often something occurs with clear intervals. Second is indefinite. Adverbs of indefinite frequency provide a general sense of how often something happens without specifying exact time frames. Common adverbs of definite frequency example. First, daily. For example, he is on diet, so he exercises daily. Second, weekly. I go to a library and park every Sunday. Third, monthly. Pasha changes his motor oil every month. Fourth, yearly. Okto goes to Singapore every year during Chinese New Year. Common adverbs of indefinite frequency example. First, always. I always order French fries as sides. Second, usually. Bima usually sleeps late at night. Third, often. Haikal does side jobs pretty often. Fourth, sometimes. Yogi sometimes plays volleyball at our high school after lecture. Fifth, rarely. Danang rarely comes to class late. Sixth, never. They never go to Bandung by bullet train. Frequency spectrum. There is three types of frequency spectrum. First is high frequency. As example, always and every day. High frequency is actions that occur very frequently or without fail. Medium frequency. Medium frequency is actions that occurs regularly but not as always. As example, often or sometimes. Third is low frequency. It means actions that happen infrequently or not at all. As example, rarely or never. Here's a chart of frequency chart. In 100%, that always occurs is always. And going down to usually in 90%, normally and generally in 80%, often in 70%, frequently in 60%, sometimes in 50%, so 50-50, occasionally 40%, seldom 30%, rarely 20%, hardly ever 10%, and never 0%. Adverbs of frequency with modal verbs. Modal verbs express possibility, necessity, permission, or ability. There are four examples I put over here. First is, she can always help with the project. Second, I should often check my emails. Third, he might occasionally skip a meeting. Fourth, they must never be late for work. Combining definite and indefinite adverbs of frequency. Combining definite and indefinite adverbs can add variety and depth to sentences, allowing it for more nuanced expressions of frequency. It provides clarity about how often an action occurs. It also enhances sentence variety, making speech or writing more engaging. There's three examples I give here. The first one is she usually goes to the gym twice a week. Usually is the indefinite adverb, and twice a week is the definite adverb. Second, I normally eat mie ayam every weekend. Normally is the indefinite, and every weekend is the definite adverb. Third, Uchok hardly ever do his chores every morning. Hardly ever is an indefinite adverb, and every morning is the definite adverbs. Forms of adverbs of frequency. There's three types of form. It's pretty common in all other adverbs. The first one is positive form. In the positive form, adverbs of frequency are used to express that an action occurs regularly or habitually. Second, negative form. In the negative form, adverbs of frequency are used to express that an action does not occur regularly. Question form. In the question form, this is the third form, question form. In the question form, adverbs of frequency are used to ask about the regularity of an action. I'll give each one example for each form. Positive form. She always goes to Japan every 6 months. Second, negative form. I always don't like bitter melon. Third form, question form. Do you normally do your assignment this late? Placement of adverbs of frequency. I give four placements of adverb frequency here. So the first one is before main verbs. Adverbs of frequency are usually placed before the main verb. Second is in a sentence with more than one verb. When a sentence contains multiple verbs, the adverb of frequency can modify any of the verbs. Typically placed before the first verb or after the first auxiliary verb. Third, after the verb to be. When the main verb is to be, the adverb follows the verb. When using for emphasis. For emphasis, we can put the adverb at the beginning or the end of the sentence. At the end in usual, we usually only put it there when we have forgotten to put it in earlier. Here's example for each placement of adverb of frequency. First is before main verbs. I always listen to music at the commuter train. Second, in a sentence with more than one verb. We can never understand how that thing works. Third, after the verb to be. Alexis is rarely coming this late. Fourth, when using for emphasis. The cat goes to our neighbor yard occasionally. Common mistakes. There are several common mistakes with adverbs of frequency. I'll give 4 examples of it. First, incorrect placement. Placing the adverb in the wrong part of the sentence can change the meaning. Here's an example of the wrong and the correct example. The wrong one is he drinks milk usually before sleep. It doesn't make sense that you put it on the after milk. The correct way is put it after the subject. Like this. He usually drinks milk before sleep. Second, mixing adverbs of frequency. Using more than one verb of frequency in a sentence can create confusion. The wrong one is they sometimes often go to the museum. It's unnecessary to use two adverbs of frequency. The correct way is just use one, like this. They often go to the museum. Third, overgeneralizing. Misusing or overusing adverbs like always and never can exaggerate a situation. The wrong example here is he always forget what I've said before. The correct way is he sometimes forgot what I've said before. But it is depends on the context. Fourth, failing to consider context. Speaking of context, it's crucial to consider the context in which you are using adverbs of frequency. The frequency of an action may vary depending on the situation or time frame. The wrong example here is Michael is frequently late. There is no context is given here. Why is he late? When is he late? The correct way is Michael is frequently late if it is raining. He's late frequently because it's raining. How to make common adverbs of frequency sentence? Here's to build your own sentences of adverbs of frequency. First, you put subjects. Determine who or what is performing the action. For example, here is he. Second is adverb of frequency. Choosing an adverb that describes frequency of the action. Here I use always. You can use any adverb of frequency uh, that describe the frequency of the action. Verb, select the action that subject is doing. For example, here, take a shower or bath. Fourth, the last, complement. Include additional information to complete the sentence. Here I use before school. If we arrange the word, you can get he as subjects, always as adverb of frequency, take a shower as verb, and before school as complement. In a full sentence, it makes he always take a shower before school. Using adverbs of frequency in speech. Here I will give example of speech that using adverbs of frequency. I always enjoy reading comics in my free time, as it is great way for me to relax and unwind. I generally spend a lot of time catching up on on series I've read before, especially when new issues or chapters are released. Sometimes when I feel like a change, I sometimes look for a new and interesting series to read, exploring different genres from action to fantasy. Keeps things exciting. I also occasionally revisit old favorites that brings back memories. In summary, adverbs of frequency describe how often something happens or how often an event or action occurs. Adverbs of frequency are important in expressing regularity and routine in both spoken and written language. They can be definite or indefinite. These adverbs help clarify the frequency of actions in sentences. Thank you for watching.